Hello and welcome to Biz, Your Work Life Sorted. I'm Em Burnham.
And I'm Lisa Lee. I'm a former head of people and culture, an organisational coach, and the founder of Learner, which is a microlearning app that helps you learn the people skills to solve real work problems really fast.
So good. I feel like I haven't talked to you in so long, even though it's been, a week?
Too long, way too long.
Too long for us. We have a really exciting episode today because we are going to teach you how to stop waiting around for someone to tell you that you're ready for a promotion and how to actually make it happen instead. We are giving you the exact playbook you need.
Yes, we love a playbook, don't we? So
We do.
around this time of year, I feel like I'm talking to so many people who are thinking, am I ready for a promotion? And if I am, how do I even position myself for that next level without sounding really pushy or awkward about it?
Yeah, I have so many friends who are going through this right now where they really, really want a promotion. But I think with that we talk about it all the time, that tall poppy syndrome that a lot of us have, they don't want to overstep or make it really weird with their manager.
Yeah, or seem overly pushy or like they
Yeah.
deserve it.
Yeah.
I think there's that, and there's also working your way up isn't just about putting in more hours and hoping someone notices. I see so many people do this. It actually takes intention, a bit of timing, and also a little bit of strategy around it. So there's three parts we're going to cover as part of this playbook. First one is how to know if you're ready. Then also how to ask for that promotion without it being weird. And also how to build a reputation that makes people want to champion your career. And I think this is the part that so many people miss. I'm really excited to cover it today. Because if you're waiting to be tapped on the shoulder, you might be waiting a long time.
And I've been waiting a long time. I'm kidding. There's been times where I've been waiting a long time, but oh my God, let's get into it.
So the biggest question that's coming up in a lot of convos I have with people at the moment is, how do you know if you're actually ready to be promoted? And one of the most common things I hear is that people assume they're ready because they've been in the role for a while. But time and seat doesn't always equal readiness. I actually think that progress isn't about how long you've been somewhere. It's about the impact you've made while you've been there.
Yeah.
So to work out if you're actually ready, you need to start with a super clear picture of how your manager sees how you're going. You want to be asking them things like, how do you think I'm tracking in my role right now? Or what's one thing I could be doing better? And these kind of questions will...
It
Yeah.
sounds
Have you
so
tried these before?
easy. It sounds so easy, but I feel like, I don't know, there's something in like my heart that just goes, ugh, you have to have like so much confidence to do that. And it just feels kind of vulnerable.
Yeah, and I've seen people almost set it up in an agenda beforehand or say, here's something I'd like to cover. So it's on the table before you walk in the room. Even that question around how am I tracking my role? Could we cover that now
Yeah.
one-on-one? You don't have to be as full and as like eyeballing someone right now like I am with you where I'm going, how am I doing right now? What do you think? And putting them on the spot.
Yeah.
Because it can feel awkward for both people, not just the person asking. But the reality is that if you're not asking these kind of questions, you're not getting the feedback you need, and you need to open the door to that feedback, because then you're not waiting for this formal check-in or this performance cycle and all the build-up that comes with that to then just be disappointed. The other thing I want to say is, like you were touching on this before, around, just putting that on the table, and it requires a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
Sometimes managers aren't really that good at articulating it, and they're a bit fluffy too. So if you feel like you're getting a fluffy, vague answer, you could ask something like how would you rate how I'm going right now out of 10? And no one ever says a 10.
Yeah.
And if they do, you're probably getting a promotion already. So when they say, probably about an 8, and you're like, okay, cool, what would a 10 look like? And that's where you get something really concrete out of them to work with. You've got their words, their experience, and a really clear path forward, because they'll say specific things there, and it can be vulnerable.
Oh my
But
God.
you got to do it.
You have to do it. Yeah. Good luck, but you have to do it. Okay, so say I've just had that chat with my manager. I have like feedback. I've worked on that feedback. I feel like I'm at a good space. How do I actually bring up the actual promotion? Do I have to say the word promotion? Because I feel like the word itself is like so scary.
I know, and it's quite forthright and presumptuous. It feels presumptuous, like,
Yeah.
Em, are you going to promote me? I like to use words around that because, a promotion is an end game, or it's a result, but there are things that happen before then. So things like, what would success look like at the next level, or what would you need to see from me to feel really confident promoting me? Because a great promotion conversation isn't about doing more. It's about how you're showing you're thinking differently and how you're preparing yourself to get ready to operate at that next level.
I like that. So it's like a proper plan you're putting in place.
Yeah, exactly. It really shifts the conversation from I want this and it shifts it over to I want to work towards this. And I think already that would feel a little less confronting. And then you can
Yeah.
ask things like, what can I focus on to this month to move closer to that?
It's very interesting because I feel like when you hear the word promotion, like, and some companies do this where they have it so formally set up that you're on this level and then you have to do this to get to this level and you have to do this to get to this level. But with promotions, I feel like you can also kind of have exactly what you said, that input yourself. Like it doesn't always have to be black and white. You can say, I'm really interested in this. If I develop this skill, would like that also contribute to my promotion?
Oh my gosh, don't even get me started on this because your manager is not the person who's going to just set the path for your career. It's your career. What do you want to do with it?
Yeah.
And so often people don't stop to ask themselves the question of like, do I actually want the promotion? And if you do, that's great, right? Like let's co-design, let's build your own ladder and rather than waiting for one to appear, because your career ladder doesn't have to go up, it can go sideways too.
Yeah. We always talk about the lateral as well. And I feel like it shows that you're also really excited about your next steps, and that shows that you're also as invested in your company as the company is in you. I think when I used to be a manager, like the best thing was seeing all the kind of pockets that the people I managed wanted to go into and do like stuff that I didn't even consider that was like part of their role that could help elevate the entire team. And I think people thinking outside the box of what they can bring outside of what's on the criteria, it just like is so helpful.
Well, it's good for you and it's good for the business, especially if you're really strong at something. I mean, I remember the first 10 years of my career, the only thing I could see was that my boss's job was the job I should have next.
Yeah.
And I just like working my way up on this elevator. But then I started thinking like, oh, I actually really like the people side of this work and, contributing to what the broader culture is, et cetera, and took a sideways step, or what many people viewed as a sideways step. And I couldn't have been happier.
Oh, I love that. That's such good advice. Okay, next up, we're going to be showing you how to build a strong professional reputation. So when the opportunity does come along, you can count on the support for your entire team to be behind you. Okay, Lee, so if someone's doing the work and having the chats, what else kind of holds people back during that time, that pivotal time in your career?
Yeah, it's reputation. So if you're just quietly chipping away in the background and people aren't aware and the work's not visible, and let's be honest, like a lot of us do not want to big note what we're doing.
Yeah.
We just, quietly sit there achieving. And when I talk about reputation, I don't mean like having the biggest personality or shouting all your wins from the roof and going, look at me, look what I did this month. I mean this quiet reputation you build over time. Because one thing I've seen time and again through teams that I've worked with and teams that I've spoken to people about is that promotions don't go to the loudest person. They go to the most trusted. Think about the people around you that have been promoted. You're like, oh yeah, that's Sophie should totally be there. I always pick on Sophie in our episodes because she's our producer.
She's our producer.
Sophie should absolutely get that promotion. Like we trust her 100%. So it's not the loudest person going, I can do this and I can do that. I think you also have to ask yourself, like, what do people say about me when I'm not in the room? Because that's often what determines what is happening in terms of getting tapped on the shoulder.
It's really interesting that you said it's not always the loudest, because I feel like historically we're taught that men are really good at like saying what they want and like talking about their achievements and talking themselves up versus women. But it is good to see that if that's not your characteristic, to constantly like back yourself and talk yourself up loudly, that you're still being seen.
And there are quiet ways to do this. I mean, a lot of people talk about getting a mentor. And the other thing I would say is you can get a sponsor, and I'll touch on what that means in a sec. Before you even get to that part, I think there are 4 quiet things that you can do to easily build your trust and your reputation. The first one would be known for being consistent. So do what you say you're going to do and when you're going to do it. Goes so far in building trust. The other is deliver on your promises. I would share my progress with my manager regularly. So that doesn't mean I'm shouting it from the rooftops, and I'm not doing it in a braggy way, but I am doing things like, hey, here's how I'm tracking on what we talked about or what we agreed I would work towards. And that big one, which I've touched on briefly there, was build relationships outside of your immediate team. So you want to be people across the business knowing your name for the right reasons. And I mentioned the word sponsor.
Yeah.
Do you know the difference between a mentor and a sponsor, Em?
Wait, I feel like I go over this all the time.
We have touched on it before, you and I.
I know, and now you're going to quiz me, and now it's
Nah,
like completely out of my head. I
definitely
feel
not
like,
a quiz.
is a mentor someone that like guides you in your career, and a sponsor is someone who's like outside of your kind of industry and network, and they are, I don't know. I'm
Well,
messing it up. I'm just wasting your time. We both know this.
you are not wasting my time at all because most people actually haven't heard of a sponsor and
I
don't
feel
have
like
a
it's quite
sponsor.
an old school term because I know my mum would talk about sponsors a lot, and
One
that
day
like
I need to meet your mum.
she just there's been episodes we've done where I'm like, oh my god, my mum should have replaced me in this episode.
When I come to Sydney next, I'm going to have dinner with your mum. So the difference between a mentor and a sponsor is really, so a mentorship is about providing advice and guidance. They're usually someone who has done the role before you.
Yeah,
And they're helping you develop like particular skills and knowledge about that role.
right.
Whereas a sponsor, on the other hand, a lot of people don't have a sponsor, but it's one of the best quiet ways you can work on getting a promotion. So a sponsorship involves like this active advocacy. They're someone who can influence or create opportunities or advance that person's career. So they might not be your manager, but they might be your manager's manager or someone peripheral to that sees your contribution and sees what you can be doing. So mentorship can be informal, but sponsorship promotes, I guess, this like visibility and accelerates the career progression because they can within a business.
Interesting, because I always thought, because have someone here in the office who I've talked about a lot, Ruth, who's
Yeah.
my mentor, but I think she's more of a sponsor then because she's not
Yeah.
like my direct manager. She's actually not in my like on my manager's manager either. She's like a bit on the side, but like
Great.
is also in that area that like I really want to advance in as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you have a sponsor. You may even also have mentors around you who are maybe slightly more senior or more experienced in the role that you're doing
Yeah.
right now that can give you skills and practical advice. But that is awesome that you have a sponsor because that person is then helping with your reputation. They're talking about you when you're not in the room and the work that you have been doing. So it's a really great one to build your network and look out for those people too.
Oh, that's so good. And that's such a great way to also show, I guess, bringing back to our first point, to know when you're ready for a promotion. It's
Yeah.
like, surely your sponsor or your mentor would be the person to like actually tell you and help you along that journey.
100%. Yeah. Otherwise, you're in your head. So you need some sounding boards around you.
Yeah. Okay. So we also have to talk about how you could do all of these things to get a promotion. You could tick all of the boxes. And sometimes you still don't get it, like depending on like where the company is now, if they can afford that certain role, if they can even afford to promote you or give you a pay rise, or if it's already going to someone else that they've considered. Sometimes you just won't get a promotion, and it does suck, and it happens a lot of the time. So how do we actually manage ourselves after we get turned down?
I love that you've said it sucks because it does suck.
It
and it's a
does.
really hard moment. There's so much emotional build up to it, don't you think?
Yeah, I feel like it's so hard to not take it personally.
Yeah.
And it's one of those situations where it happens and you immediately still have to be professional, unlike a breakup where it happens and you have permission to get emotional of it. It feels like we aren't given the same permissions for when we get rejected in the workplace.
No way. So many times I've seen people go for a promotion, not get it. And they're like, okay, so we've got to go to a client whip now.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, can we just give them a second to process this?
Oh,
And all you want to be doing right at that moment, right, is going, well, fuck you all. That's all right.
Yeah.
I'm not getting it. You need to give yourself a minute to be disappointed because promotions aren't just about the role. They're also about being recognised. So that is big. Not getting promoted, I don't think it means it's a waste of time. It's still progress because you're getting all that feedback along the way. But it is your chance to regroup and go, what next?
and is it always like, I may as well quit, start somewhere else?
I mean, look, for some people it is. And let's be honest, like, I mean, I've been there. I'm sure you have been too. You're like, well, fine, I'll go find something else. And that's a normal reaction, right? Because it does feel personal at times. You don't necessarily need to jump ship straight away.
Okay.
So leaving too quickly, I think that you can miss the growth that could be in front of you as well. but also stay too long and things can start to feel a bit stale.
Yeah.
Something I love to do is pick a bit of an experiment. So if you're in that in between moment, like you're trying to spark some growth before you bolt, you may have missed out on a promotion. Just test something out before you go. And it could be one of these 4 things. You could try learning above your level, which is like taking on a skill that's not currently in your role, or that your role doesn't demand of you, but it's to do with the next one. You're showing everyone around you that very maturely you are still on that track and you are still focused on it. You can also use it wherever else you go.
Yeah.
The second thing you could do would be to jump into a bit of a cross-team project. So you're thinking about new problems you could lead. They can stimulate a bit of new thinking. They might even show you a different way or a different type of role that you might be suited for too. So that's a good one. You could also ask for stretch, so not for status. So what I mean by that is like, what bigger problem could I help solve in the next 90 days? Now, where that's going to help you and where that's going to help the business. Where it's going to help the business is it shows that you're committed, you're still here to solve problems, and you have a lot to bring. And where it's going to help you is you get all those things. Plus, if you do leave, you can take that with you as an example.
That's such a good point. So you're constantly like helping your way yourself after you've been rejected. It's not just an immediate like throwing everything in the fire going, okay, I'm done, I'm leaving. But you're actually like setting yourself up for your next role, whether that would be in the company at another date or somewhere else.
Yeah, and you're doing it in a really productive way. So you're not leaving in a negative way. You're going, what can I do to make my most of the time here? And that, do you know what? You might get through that like 90-day experiment or project and go, someone might tap you on the shoulder and go, there's actually a role over here we think you'd be great for. Or conversely, you're like, I'm going to use that example and use it to find my next role too. And the other thing you could do is just fix a friction point. Everyone loves the person at work who can fix something. So you spot something that's not working, come up with some kind of solution and show how you can make that better for everyone else. And again, benefits the business, but also benefits you in the long run.
That's so true. And I also feel like if you were to move businesses, a good company would know that that would be the direction you would take next. Like, especially if they know you're deserving of a promotion and they just can't afford it, they would like also encourage you to like not just look elsewhere, but to also tell you that you've done everything you can over here. We want to see you succeed, and that will only happen if you go somewhere else. Like, that's what a good company will do, and it won't be bitter.
Yes, that good companies do that, and good leaders do that.
Yeah.
And this really circles back to that point we were talking before about reputation. Yes, you can go, well, fuck it, I'm just going to leave.
Yeah.
How's that going to impact your reputation? Versus if you took this approach and went, let me just test the waters here, even if it's for the next 3 months, and try one of these things that I've just suggested, then you have a little bit more information to work with. And you can also find the next thing, whether it's at the team that you are at now or in a totally different business.
Yeah. And you could also bounce back. And that, I think we've talked about this before, that if you leave, you never know like who you'll be working with in the future and if you will come back. Like I did, I left Mummy and I came back. And there's no way that would happen if you left on like bad terms.
Oh my gosh, I remember missing out on a promotion once and then someone else getting it and a few months down the track going, oh my God, I'm so glad I didn't get that job.
Wow. That's really interesting.
You never know how things are going to work out. And then also, like I was talking to you about before, you can also sideways step into a totally different area of the business and actually really like lean into your strengths and stuff that you like to do.
Yeah, there's so many more opportunities than to just constantly get promoted up the ladder.
Yes, yeah, and that's just requires a bit of like lateral thinking around what else is out there and what do I actually really enjoy. You spend so much time at work. I think we need to get out of this whole mindset of a promotion and my boss's job is the only next answer.
Yeah.
What else do I want to do at work? We've covered quite a lot of ground here around this playbook and what people can do in their next steps. What's the biggest thing that jumped out for you in our convo today?
I think exactly what you said right at the beginning, because even now, and I've been in this industry for about 7 years now, but even now talking about yourself and talking yourself up is still something I find so hard. Like even saying the word promotion is just something that feels like it should be blacklisted from my vocabulary. So I just never say it. But I think what you suggested, like the questions around the promotion without actually directly saying it. Like, what would success look like on the next level? Even like the ranking out of 10. I'm a numbers girl, so that just perfectly makes sense in my head. I think that is such an easy way to, at your next manager whip, it doesn't have to be like these formal meetings, but at like my next weekly whip, you can just say, hey, so I'm really like looking forward to like advancing in my career. What do you think would be my next level, and how do you think I'll get there? Like, that's something so simple that can actually also like tell your manager that you are going to gun for a promotion one day, and like get
Yeah.
them ready for it as well.
Absolutely, because no one's going to walk in a meeting room one day and be like, "Oh, by the way, we just thought we'd promote you," and you'd have no idea that it was coming.
So true.
There's always a plan in motion, and you're
Yeah.
always working towards it. So you might as well be part of that plan and work together on it.
Yeah. Oh, it was just such good advice. I feel like we need to definitely put that in our newsletter that we send every weekly, like the questions that you should ask instead of like, hey, can I get my promotion now?
Yes, nicer way to warm someone up to it,
Yeah.
right? I think, if you ask your manager, like, what would success look like for me at the next level, you are planting that seed in their mind, and that one question just opens the door to everything else. So I think consider this your nudge.
Yes.
Ask a question, any of the questions that we've shared today, or any of the one-liners or the situations that you've shared there, Em. Start the conversation and just let us know how it goes.
I'm so excited to hear. DM us on Instagram. We are always perving on our DMs. So if you have any questions or topics you want us to cover, or if our advice has actually helped you and you've also gotten a promotion off the back of this, we would love to know. You can always DM us at Biz by Mamma Mia.